Today we're going to learn how to make low poly or low polygon art, or what's also sometimes called vector style art. The images that you're seeing on screen right now, like the jaybird before, or this hummingbird, were created by grade 4 students, so anywhere between 8 and 10 years old. Making low poly vector art like this is actually really easy to make. You could do it on things like Adobe Photoshop, you could use Adobe Illustrator, but these images were all created using Google Drawings. So to make a new Google drawing, all you have to do is just search for Google Drawing, have a Google account, and then open up a new blank canvas. And once you're on a blank canvas, I like to have students choose animals as opposed to video game characters. If you use video game characters like this, there's not enough color variation between their fur and it makes it a little harder. So you want to come up to selected image, and after you're at selected image, you're going to search the web and search for an animal. I think I'm going to choose a rabbit for mine, so I'm going to search for a rabbit, and then I'm going to choose an animal that's got enough color variation in him. What's important is you don't choose an animal that all has the exact same color, so I think I'll choose this little guy here. In order to drag in an image, all I have to do is just simply drag and drop it in, or I can click the insert button in the bottom right hand corner. Our image should load, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this image fill up the majority of my canvas. So I'll make it larger. I can crop it simply by double clicking and dragging in these black bars on the side in order to make it better fill up my canvas. What I'm going to do now is I'm simply going to start adding in polylines. What's important here is you want to try to use triangles as opposed to squares. So I'm going to come up to the line tool, select the drop down menu, and come down to the polyline tool. And I'm just going to start finding some color variations. So I might zoom in and I see this large kind of diamond shape around his face. So I think I'm going to cut that into 2 separate triangles. And now that I've got my triangle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color here. I'm going to choose from their default colors, but I can find that's probably not dark enough for what I'm looking for. So I'm going to come down to the custom tool, and I want to use the slider on the left here. And I'm just going to make small changes to select the color that I want. I'm not going to worry about the slider on the right because that's transparency, and it's going to actually give us a false reading of what color we're actually going to choose for. So now that I've got that done, I'm going to choose another polyline, and I will continue making another triangle right next to where I was at before. Now, if I keep these the same color, it's going to end up looking really awkward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the color, come up, I'll go back down to custom, and I'll change the color just ever so slightly. You want to make slight variations because it's going to really make it pop. And you see there's enough variance between these two. Alright, so I'm going to continue working on this piece, and I will show you what it looks like when it's all done. So I've just finished filling in the final piece on my bunny rabbit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything. I'll go up to the border tool. It looks like a pencil. I'll make all the borders transparent to really make it blend. Now this rabbit isn't quite done yet. The last step I need to do to be able to finish this off is I'm going to delete the image behind it, and I'm going to choose a background that I want for it. So in order to choose my own background, all I need to do is just simply right click, and from the drop down menu I'll select background. I like to choose a gradient for my background, and I will choose a color. And what you're going to find is when I zoom in, you're going to find a lot of kind of awkward gaps and awkward shapes in between these. You're also going to find some colors that are a little bit off. So in order to get rid of some of these gaps where you can see things look a little awkward, all I could do is simply double click on a shape, and there's going to be some little purple dots that are going to pop up, and now I can fix and make kind of minor changes to my piece so that it fills in a lot of those gaps. Don't worry about overlapping. I actually prefer to overlap the shapes at this point because it really makes it look a lot more well put together when everything is said and done. And after cleaning up some of the gaps, what I'm going to do is now I'm going to take a large look back and look at what colors look awkward. This piece here in the center is a little more green than I like, so I'm going to choose kind of a more brown tone from what my bunny is. And I'm just going to look and I'm going to say, okay, what pieces look a little awkward and look out of place? There's a couple colors here. There's a couple ones that are slightly beigeier. The right side of the bunny should be a little lighter than the left side. And some things look a little off. So I can select the multiple pieces that I want and I'll change the color of those multiple pieces in order to make the bunny look a little more well put together. And there you have it. The final pieces of this project, the pieces you saw at the start, took anywhere from 2 to 3 hours for students to complete. So it usually takes about maybe 2 1-hour lessons and then a third lesson for the other kids that take a little more time to be able to complete a project like this. The bunny that I completed in this one roughly and super quick took me about 20 minutes to be able to complete.